I give now the floor to the representative of Afghanistan. You have the floor, please.
Mr. Chairman, we congratulate you and the members of the Bureau on your election, and we assure you of Afghanistan's full support and cooperation as you lead the work of the Sixth Committee. We align ourselves with the statement delivered by the Non-Aligned Movement and the OIC Group. This year again, the Sixth Committee deliberates on agenda item measures to eliminate international terrorism. We do so at a time when this enemy of humanity has grown even larger in threat, scope, and danger, taking new forms and manifestations. As President Ashraf Ghani stated in his address to the UN General Assembly 2 weeks ago, terrorism is not only an attack on human life and basic freedoms, but an attack on the compact of citizenship and an attack on nation-states' relationship with its people, which makes democratic societies unique, fair, and free. This underscores the imperative of a more effective global response, underpinned by the obvious fact that in combating terrorism, we are striving to advance the well-being and security of all humanity. Today, Afghanistan remains the frontline state in the world's fight against international terrorism, an evil that is alien to Afghan values, customs, and traditions throughout the history of our nation. Our struggle against this global menace is ingrained in the social fabric of our society. Despite the complexity of the task at hand, we are making steady progress in combating this evil. As we speak, Afghan security forces are battling terrorist groups who have come from abroad and are intent on keeping Afghanistan unstable. In this effort, our forces have, in different parts of the country, inflicted major losses in the ranks of terrorists and violent extremist groups, be it the Taliban, Daesh, Al-Qaeda, or other such entities. This effort continues with great progress under our national security strategy, of which the fight against terrorism remains a key pillar. Having suffered setbacks, these groups have now shifted their tactics, focusing on barbaric attacks in populated areas, on ordinary Afghans, public figures, mosques, as well as international security and civilian personnel serving to promote stability and prosperity in our country. This signals the absolute moral bankruptcy of the terrorist groups. Needless to say, our fight against terrorism is a work in progress, demanding the continued support of the international community. Outside the battlefield, we're working closely with regional countries, bilaterally, trilaterally, and through other mechanisms and forums, including the Heart of Asia and Kabul processes, to tackle the threat of terrorism and other transnational criminal activities plaguing Afghanistan and our region. Mr. Chairman, reversing the tide against terrorism warrants a more effective response by the United Nations. The creation of the Office of Counterterrorism, led by Ambassador Voronkov, is an important development. We hope the new office will function in a manner that will positively impact the implementation of all 4 pillars of the UN Global Counterterrorism Strategy. Yesterday, I had a fruitful meeting with Ambassador Voronkov, and I was pleased with our discussion. Afghanistan has presented its recommendations on the activities of the said office, and hope they will be duly reflected for the benefit of a more successful counterterrorism response by the United Nations. Moreover, we believe renewed focus must be given to the implementation of Security Council resolutions dealing with terrorism and extremism. The 1267, 1373, and 1988 committees provide a strong basis for suppressing the capacity, resources, and other enablers that empower terrorists to continue their vicious campaign. All states must apply a blanket condemnation of all terrorist elements without any distinction and prevent any form of support to terrorists, including safe havens and moral, material, and financial aid. Afghanistan joins other countries in expressing our concern over the impasse in finalizing the draft Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. All outstanding issues should be resolved in the interest of a crucial imperative, strengthening the United Nations counterterrorism architecture. In conclusion, we look forward to enhancing our collaboration with all member states on strengthening international cooperation to defeat international terrorism. We will do so in the context of our strategic partnership agreements and also within the framework of the United Nations counterterrorism initiatives. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the Ambassador and Permanent Representative of Afghanistan for his statement.